First on Fox tonight, we are learning more about the Omicron subvariant of COVID-19 called BA2, including that it is more transmissible. But it doesn't seem to be causing more severe disease than the original Omicron variant. We know many of you have questions about this, including what it means for you and your family. Fox 12's Bridget Chavez has been working to get those answers and joins us live after speaking with the Oregon Health Authority's state health officer. Bridget, what do we know about protection against BA2?
Yeah, Dr. Dean Seidlinger says that vaccinations are still the best protection we have against COVID-19 and this new subvariant. And for those of you who have had COVID-19 and recovered recently, he says it's unlikely that you would get reinfected with BA2. As the COVID-19 pandemic goes on, threats of new variants have many of us bracing for the next surge. But this time, health experts say we should all be able to breathe a little easier.
But right now, with COVID rates low and COVID rates continuing to go down, now's the time that we can be a little less cautious.
Dr. Dean Seidlinger is the state health officer and epidemiologist for the Oregon Health Authority and says while this is a good sign, moving forward, we should treat COVID like we do the weather.
But much like we have to be prepared for the weather, we have to be prepared for wildfires. We need to be prepared for what the next subvariant of Omicron or the next variant of COVID might bring. And so keeping our masks handy, being prepared to change our activities if disease rates are increasing is something we should all kind of be prepared for.
Seidlinger also says vaccines seem to be holding up against BA2, and those who have recently had COVID will still have some level of protection as well. And as for the potential of a fourth shot or booster, he says more evaluation needs to be done at the federal level.
We know that in other countries, starting particularly with older individuals, those most at risk for complications, that a fourth dose has been used. So I think seeing the real world benefits of that, if there are any, of offering increased protection as we move through this pandemic, is also another factor that we'll consider.
As for when the pandemic will end and become an endemic, Seidlinger says we're getting close.
We don't yet know that kind of predictable pattern with COVID, so I don't know if we can call it endemic yet, but we can certainly be happy with where we are now, with disease rates lower, with effective vaccines to combat the disease, and with knowing that Oregonians have stepped up time and time again to take actions to protect themselves and their neighbors and their communities, that we'll do it again.
And Seidlinger also says it's up to each of us individually now to make choices and decisions based on our needs and lifestyle. So for some, that may look like continuing to mask up or avoiding large crowds. But regardless of whatever decision you make that's best for you, we all need to be respectful of one another's choices. Reporting live in Northwest Portland, Bridget Chavez, Fox 12 Oregon.